Transformative Tarot. We're going to do a collective reading. It's an interesting time. Really interesting time to be here on the planet Earth in these moments. So we're going to take a look at the energy and all that is involved with it. And if you'd like a personal reading, of course, you can look in the description box. But during the live, $7 on the Cash App with a question, and we can take care of you as well. But let's have a look. So today we're going to use the Light Seers. We're going to use the Santa Muerte deck, and we're going to also use Fancy's deck, my own creation, and get a feel for it. So now we're in the wave spell from the Mayan calendar of the Blue Night, which is about dreams. And dreams are very much at the forefront of everything. Your intuition and your perspective or belief system of abundance is also under that review. What do you consider abundance at this time? Is it just the financial aspect of things, or are we talking just about an overflow of creative ideas, friendships, an abundance of knowledge, a wealth of knowledge, really, you know what I'm saying? What is abundance for you at this time? And the intuition and the dreams very much are on deck. So we're going to give all these a good shuffle, and then we're going to get into it. Happy Tuesday to you. And I trust that everything is going well and in your favor, regardless of how it looks on the outside. And that's why I say everything is interesting, because it feels like almost a pause or a layover period. Not so much a pause, but we have Mercury going retrograde. We just got out of a white mirror reflection period in the Mayan calendar, which is very much like a retrograde kind of thing, but more about really taking stock or looking in at oneself. And it just seems like it's just time to just slow down so we can get all the details, because we're dealing with Mercury, and have all the communication that we need. We're dealing with Gemini, to really get a clear picture of where it is we're moving into, what space we're moving into. Welcome in. You're the only person watching, you're the first one in. Well, now there says it's 11 in here, so you're not the only one. But if you want to ask a question, we could do the Cash App thing and get you straightened out live right here. So we'll start with Fancy's deck, and we'll get the collective overall energy, which is the Yellow Warrior, which is about being very fearless at this time, regardless of what is going on. This is about asking the tough questions, getting the questions, using your intelligence. This time might feel a little bit isolated for a lot of people. And what I mean by that is it's about clearing the clutter, making sure that everything that's coming to you is from you. We're not talking about your family's belief systems, your friends, your coworkers, or anything like that. We're talking about what's coming from you. And this space, though it seems like it's not moving, is really a beautiful place to be if you're taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And not being afraid to ask the questions that you've always wanted to ask, or the answers. And this goes into the dream spell of the Blue Night in the Mayan calendar, which is programming your dreams. Ask these questions before you go to sleep. Maybe they'll come out in the dream state or in the waking world. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good time to really ask these questions, because you're going to get the answer one way or another with this Yellow Warrior energy. Okay? All right, and we're going to support that with the Light Seers deck and one of my favorites, the Santa Muerte deck. So we have the light and the dark present always. We like to keep the balance of things. And if you have a question, you can send it through the Cash App, or you can put it in here. I'm doing $7 today, and we can work it out for you. You understand? Two fan. Supporting that is exactly what I was saying. The King of Cups in the reverse. And on the lighter side of things, we have the Queen of Wands. Very interesting, because this is very much a time of manifestation. And this is more inner world. So if you're a guy out there watching right now, this is talking about the yin principle that we possess. This is about the inner world. So don't get yes, the yellow warrior is very good. They're all good. It's about how you use the energy that is available. The Queen of Wands is about manifesting something new. So this is why this period is slowed down a bit. It's asking, it's almost like a mini Saturn return, where you're being asked to review everything and say whether or not you're in agreement with where you are and what you got going on. Is it really working out for you? And if it's not, this is the time where you start to create new things for yourself, new experiences for yourself. But at the same time, with this King of Cups in reverse, welcome on in. This is not a time to be giving to anybody else but yourself. You really have to cut the heart out of this and get back to, we're going to clarify a little bit more. Yeah, and then the swords. This is cutting out the confusion in your life. This is pulling the plug on all the illusions and distractions that are going on. If we're looking at this upright, you got a lot to deal with here. Which one is the best one for you? You know what I'm saying? This could create a lot of confusion. This could create a lot of turbulence in your life. You know, overthinking, things of that nature. When it's in the reverse and when this King of Cups in reverse, we're not dealing with that. We're not putting our heart and our energy and our emotions in places they don't need to be at right now, except for the self. Getting clear before you enter a new contract or relationship at this time. Understand? And on the other side, clarifying the Queen of Wands, we have the Seven of Wands. So yes, more energy of protecting the energy that you're in. And both of these cards are very similar. Taking on the energy, Seven of Wands is being in your own personal bubble, kind of like the Hermit, right? But this is protecting yourself against those outside influences so that you can get these answers to these questions, so that you can hear the real intelligence speaking through you and to you at this time. Okay? Really, this comes from a lot of self-care. This comes from nurturing one's own being, the Seven of Wands. Nothing on the outside can reach or pop this bubble because it's that strong. So this is about your resilience, but this is also about your quiet time, taking time to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you have that peace or that place or that environment where you can really listen at this time. And from that listening is where the creation begins, this Queen of Wands energy, where you're starting to create from the internal world, not the external world, and being driven by the influences or anything else going on in the outside world here. So the world that we're creating is not based on anything outside of ourselves right now. And there's an inner child glowing in all of this. As you can see, the same spark that's here is in her hand. You know, the world is in your hands, literally your own universe. And how you feel about that at this time is paramount. Everybody else's opinions, everybody else's 2 cents doesn't matter. This is why you may be losing a lot of friendships or things that were once familiar, which again is why we are being asked to cut the heartstrings with certain things. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing with this is making sure that you're drinking out of your own cup of love. We're not doing this and giving to other people and not leaving anything for ourselves. There has to be a reciprocity here. You know what I'm saying? And look at all this cup energy. We got another one, 9 of Cups. So it just feels like there is no wish fulfillment at this time, a forward movement, an abundance of, emotional opportunities. It's being kind of choked off for a hot second. It's a reassessment. So during this reassessment time, the only thing we should really be in love with is ourselves. And here it is, the Two of Wands. This is where we're visioning or getting ready to make those decisions. Do I stay? Do I go? We're looking off into the future, into the horizon, and we're picking which one of these directions do we want to go in. You understand? The way we want to move now in life. You know what I'm saying? Exploring our inner world. Really exploring our inner world and have that show up in the outer world. Clarifying the yellow warrior, we have the Empress, which is a reminder to everybody watching that you have everything that you need at this time. This is more about the law of attraction. This is, like I said with the questions, letting things come to you. Do not force the process. Do not try to get in front of the magic. You understand? Let it come in the time that it needs to come. And you'll know whether you're ready or not by your own internal compass, especially a lot of these truths that we're asking at this time. Because what we're really doing is clearing the air, clearing the way forward. Anything that held you back, especially subconsciously, things you weren't aware of. Things just feeling stalled. You've always had what you've needed, but this is the time of creation with the Empress, but it's also a time of letting it come to you naturally. Do not force the process. Stay in as much joy and personal space as you can while you make these decisions. Look at all this orange and red. This is a very creative, this is like starting over because we're dealing with the lower chakras here, the red, the orange, and the yellow. Courageous, stepping out on our own, doing something different. You know what I mean? Really, really being a pioneer in our own lives and an advocate in our own lives. Protecting that, because you got the 7 wands here and you got the 2 wands here. We have the 9 of wands all together. This is starting to wrap up a cycle. All the burdens that we had prior to this point that we've accumulated on the journey in whatever aspect that may be. It's time to start letting those things go. It's time to start doing the internal feng shui and clearing space for new creative, because this is a lot of creativity when we deal with the wands. It's all wands over here and it's all cups over here. So we have emotions, we have passion. The thoughts didn't come up, so to speak. The thoughts haven't come up. But that came up in yesterday's read about overthinking. But I don't think the people watching now really are having that problem. We're not in the space of thinking right now. We're in the space of dreaming of a better world for ourselves. And then we can deal with the rest of the world after we've gotten ourselves straight. You know what I mean? So let's clarify one more on the light seer side and one more on the Santa Muerte side. And then we'll use these as more of advice or medicine or even messages from either your spirit guides, you know what I'm saying, your ancestors, as to a little insight, a little more course of action moving forward. All right. And we got the light seers right here. How's everybody feeling today? Where are y'all at with this, with your journey? You know what I mean? How are you feeling about where you're at right now? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel, things are moving and working out? How are you feeling? Because that really makes the difference at the end of the day. Side note with this, the emotions are the rocket fuel for all this creation. You want to make sure that you narrow the focus of everything. This is why things may not be moving, because you're so spread out. And this is what this is really saying right here. To filter out everything and get down to really get you going. What really makes you want to get up in the morning. You feel me? So the advice on fancy side, the Chariot. There will be forward movement. This is saying don't worry about what's going on at the particular moment. There will be forward movement after the work, the internal work, after the cycle has wrapped up. On Santa Muerte side, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse, and then the Death and Rebirth in reverse. Very interesting. We're going to dive into this. I want one more on that Death. 3 of Wands. The changes have already happened. Even though it's not feeling like it's moving forward, it is. This is like when you're just pulling out of the driveway kind of energy before you start to speed up. Now we have another set of wands. So this will lead to the 2 of Wands again, which is decisions, because we have that 9. This is 10, 11, 12, which is 3. Here we are with the patience. Being patient, waiting for your wave to come in. And knowing that it's your wave when it comes in. This surfer is waiting patiently for the right time to enter the water. So this is really, after you get all these questions answered, after you're allowing all the information to come to you, after you're cleaning and clearing yourself out, making sure that everything is completely you and has nobody else's influence going on, This is when things start to move forward. And on the flip side, as things move forward, you're going to have to come out of that hermit mode, that time of introspection, and really take action. But when you do, we're not looking at any kind of small offers, any small talk, things that are beneath us, so to speak, things that are not on our level at this time, because maybe we have been settling for things in the past that just didn't line up with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? That didn't quite resonate with where we are and what we want to do moving forward. So this is the collective message for today. Very simple, but it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of work and a little bit of patience for this process to go all the way through. And it's really saying don't rush it. There's already something being created. You don't have to change too much. The change is already here. But in the essence of the Mayan calendar, the Blue Night, this is about dreaming and reprogramming the subconscious mind. Well, how do you do that, Phoenix? There's many ways, first of all, do your own information and look that stuff up on either YouTube or, just Google how to train the subconscious mind. But this is where you listen to an audiobook while you sleep. This is where you do affirmations and record them, possibly over music that you really like, and you play it while you're asleep in headphones or just have it in the background. And you do it for at least 21 to 30 days, and you allow that program to take root in the subconscious mind so that the reality outside of you starts to match the reality inside of you the way you want it to. You know what I'm saying? Because that is always the case. It'll always match what's going on inside. And this is the Blue Knight right here, the Dream Weaver. So in this, we're talking about the intuition, following your intuition, the nudges. I don't care how crazy it is. I don't care how foolish it sounds. If you're being pushed in a certain direction or nudged by something internal, take the action on it. Don't be afraid. That's what the fearlessness of the Yellow Warrior is stating here. Don't be afraid of what doesn't make sense at the time. You got to think of all the beautiful creations that we have up to this point, where once they started, people started to follow that dream and that idea. They were called crazy. You know what I mean? Could you imagine first person who said, it's like the Wright brothers. They said the Wright brothers were crazy for trying to fly. And now look at us. You know what I mean? There's an airport in every major city. So the dreams and the abundance mean you have everything you need. Again, with this Empress, what is abundance to you besides the money, besides the finance? Abundance. So we're talking about a bun in the oven and a dance. You know what I mean? A flow, a rhythm, a harmony of creation. Being in alignment with that. So these are some tips, some tidbits that I was called to pass on, and I'm still passing on as we move forward about programming that subconscious mind, because maybe there's a lot of bull in there we don't need anymore, a lot of belief systems, and especially from the influence of other people. So be mindful of your influence and the influence of others at this time, because you want to steer the ship of your reality. You don't want anybody else influencing or steering the ship of your reality. And the best way to do that is to get inside of your own mind and reclaim all that rich, fertile soil. You understand what I'm saying? And start to plant new seeds and have new experiences and stepping out of your comfort zone. Because once this ship starts moving, you're going to be out of that space of introspection. You're just going to know. You're going to have all the bright ideas you need. You're going to have the aha moments. You're going to have everything, just like the Emperor says, that you need in order to come out of that shell as the new version of yourself. And there is no small talk involved here. You want whatever is on your level. You don't want this page. You want queen and king energy or higher. When it comes to the people that you deal with, when it comes to the offers and the options that you have presented to you or that show up. And you'll know the difference by using your wisdom and your discernment. Okay? So for the Who-kah Lounge and Transformative Tarot, Have a beautiful rest of your day. Get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, that kind of thing. But make sure you go into your dream state tonight and throughout the day. You don't have to wait till you go to sleep, but start asking the questions. Start getting the answers. Start relying on your intelligence. You know what I mean? Your input. What you put in is what you get out. Making sure that you're giving yourself, mind, body, and soul everything that it needs in order to move forward in a very successful way. And success is different for everybody, right? So again, what does all this mean to you? What is abundance to you? What does your intuition sound like when it's speaking to you? And trusting in what you're getting, regardless of how out of bounds it may seem, because this is where, even with the politics of the world, especially here in America that we're going through, this is where, you know, during these so-called recessions, a lot of businesses start. This is when a lot of people start getting very creative and start doing their own. And once you get that clear, the forward movement is going to carry you into the next part of your life. And you're going to have a lot of support, with all these flying fish. They could be spirit guides, they could be ancestors, but you will be well protected on your journey and guided as well. It's just a matter of getting into the seat of the soul and making sure you're the one sitting there and nobody else, okay? So with all that being said, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go frame some of these pictures. Remember, we're in the retrograde, so going back and reviewing is gonna be great right now. You're gonna get a lot of tidbits. You're gonna finish up a lot of things, especially contracts with other people, and you'll make room to sign new contracts, spiritual contracts, physical, like starting a new job, or it could be anything, you know what I mean? Getting a new car or a new home. But you want to make sure that you get all the details and all the information and read the fine print at this time. Don't just jump into things without doing your due diligence at this time. It'll be here till, almost the end of December. And this is why we're going to start seeing a lot of people that we've seen in our past, people calling back, the holidays and things of that nature. So don't be surprised if people are reaching out to you that you haven't talked to in a while, or things are coming back up from the past to be rectified. The Yellow Warrior is saying, have the courage to face all these, whether they're new or old, with absolute fearlessness. The heart of a lion. Okay? So that's all I have for today. We'll be back with more, a whole lot of different stuff, actually. We're not just going to do the tarot. We got new projects coming up. We're going to do live here too. I think we're going to build a new fairy home, kind of like the one I did back in the day. But this is, again, the revisiting of certain things. And remember, you really want to revisit the inner child at this time. The things that you love to do. The things that really, maybe you haven't taken the time to cultivate. This is a perfect time to let that child have its day, so to speak, and really be in that creative self-love energy, you know what I mean? Putting out all the distractions and forgetting what everybody else thinks or says or does at this time. It's really important for your own journey and your own sense of being, you feel me? So with that being said, again, I'm out of here, y'all. Wholeness and love to you. Take care.